Broadcasting basically live from my badass castle, it's your boy, Sharpest Teeth Girl! And today, I'm going to show you my sharp teeth and analyze the new bridal banner. What is it called again? Bridal something something banner. Blah 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 blah. Not that. And joining with me today is my buddy, Spinning Shark!
What's up?
So it's been a little while. I actually was in the middle of doing this analyzing thing by myself, but I somehow managed to catch Burke in the middle of talking, and we were finally able to do one of these group analyzing that we haven't done for months. So let us get started with today's program.
Yeah, so I thought we'd be getting 2 times the analysis from me back, but when I look back at his last one solo, it was about an hour by himself, so he's still bringing all the analysis.
Well, you see, I have this problem where if there's nobody to stop me, you also have the same problem, where we just kind of go on and on and on and don't seem to know when to shut up. So it's good that you're back and we can have a little chat together. Like I said, I was in the middle of doing one, and it was certainly taking a while because I was just talking to myself about the points of this banner, and I just can't seem to shut up. At any rate, things have been rather busy, so I bet you're the same way. I couldn't find time to do it on Monday, so we were a little late doing this. I apologize, everyone. Well, a little better late than never, right? So, why don't we get started with this then? Okay, so...
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. So this banner, we get these wonderful ladies, we get a Pent, but I think the most important thing, ultimately, is this horrible Fjorm with 3 copies of herself now. Yeah, I mean, you have all those guys who are like, oh yeah, they got the Charlotte treatment, they have their alts before their actual characters, but that's not even all that really. It's a common theme that's been going on these days, and I feel like with Fjorm getting another skin, we're really starting to understand how the IS works. They've got a real big hard-on for Fjorm, especially since we saw her not too long ago in Regalia Lost. I think Fjorm is going to be the thing, kind of like Bulbasaurus Rex and the others. That's my opinion at first look on this banner. Now, I know that has nothing to do with the actual mechanics or anything like that. I don't think you guys are really the type of people who are like, oh yeah, I just want to marry these characters because they're in the marriage things. No, I'm sure you guys just want to know about the skills and stats and everything. So let's begin from the beginning. So, Tanith is the first person we're going to be talking about. Comes with Harsh Command Plus. Harsh Command Plus, finally. Now, before Harsh Command, we have Restore Plus, which helps getting rid of all these status effects that now plagues this place thanks to the Aversa syndrome. Now, Harsh Command will allow your non-healers to do this nonsense, but unfortunately, it's locked behind a 5-star paywall. And hey, guess what? I can't really do anything about that if I don't have any orbs to spend, and it's also a seasonal banner. So if they're 5-star paywall behind a seasonal banner, you wouldn't expect to be able to see that skill come back anytime soon. Think about 2 years ago when we have Bridal Lynn and she came with Candlelight. A powerful staff that allows counterattack to be negated for everybody who gets affected by that status effect. That did not get replaced with a normal skill until like a year or 2 later when Mikoto came out. So that is a pain. What's your thoughts on Harsh Command Plus, Burke? What do you think about this? About this whole being locked up behind a thing and its overall effect on the meta?
I mean, I like the skill. I think it's been long overdue, but I don't like the way it's being introduced on this seasonal banner. Like you just said, it's probably not coming back for a while, or if it does, it's just going to be locked again to another 5-star. People aren't going to want to fodder these waifus for these skills. I mean, obviously the hardcore whales that just summon like crazy will, but if you summon one of these, you might want to keep your Tanith and not just summon inherit away your harsh command plus. So, but that being said, the skill in a vacuum, I like it. I think it's pretty sweet. I guess what staves can't use it, but they don't need to.
Yeah, we already have Restore Plus. I mean, the whole thing is basically the same, except for the part where you actually heal. Yeah, and I guess the reversing penalties thing. Now, I don't know if you think the same way, but I think that Adun is probably one of the strongest unit, if not the strongest unit in the game right now, thanks to the ability to negate penalties altogether and converting it into bonuses. Well, in battle bonuses. I think that's how it worked, right? If she gets she gains the whole thing and then she just gets a in battle bonus. So I think that stacks with normal stat increase. Do you remember if it does works like that?
It should, yeah.
So Idun is horrifyingly strong. Her only Achilles heel is being a dragon. That's it. Well, I mean, and being armored too, I guess. You can use an armor smasher on her, but really, besides her unit types being her Achilles heel, and I guess color, I suppose, if you use a blue unit against her, but I mean, all units have that problem, so Idun is really powerful. And now, with Harsh Command Plus, you're giving it to just about everyone. I think that's really scary, honestly, because the whole meta currently revolves, hey, I've got Aversa, and all of a sudden I got panicked, and all my stats are reduced by 3. So now with this, you give her the big fuck you, and oops, anything that Aversa did to you is now gone. And of course, we got these new buildings now that are basically like chill attack and chill speed that you can build. Now these things will work against you thanks to Harsh Command Plus. I'm just not a big fan of this skill. It's just kind of, I mean, I like the skill a lot, but I'm just not a big fan of it being locked behind the paywall and all these, and seasonal. It's just it's just a fun toy right now for guys who do spend a lot of money. And you know what? Spending money on this game now is probably even worse idea than before, seeing what happened to Belgium. You heard about that?
Oh yeah, they're stopping service, right?
We should really talk about that too when we have a chance, maybe later tonight. But yeah, the Belgium thing made me really realize that, hey, maybe what I did was the right choice, not spending money on this game, man. Anyway, that can save for later. I really apologize. I go off tangent even by myself, even with Burke. So, what do you think about these attack and speed +4 weapons that during combats if you initiate? In other words, hey guys, my name is Sigbert.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, anyone that had these weapons in the past, when they originally got these PRFs like Sigbert or the defense version like Shiro had, they were considered good weapons. There are much higher numbers now, 6, or even higher than 6 with some of the newer effects, but they're still good, especially on an inheritable weapon. Unfortunately, though, so many PRFs exist now that I feel like the inheritable weapons just are not as good in general. Like, they have to be really good to work because everybody and their mother has a PRF. But in terms of just looking at it in terms of power level, these are great. You can take the original PRFs of these and chop off 2 attack. And if you want it to be attack, sure, refine it for attack and you get extra HP. You have a better PRF than Sigbert had. Or you can go in other directions with them. So I think they're pretty good. I would like to have them, but because everyone has PRF, it doesn't really feel like it's worth it.
Well, actually, let me interject for a bit now. Now, I agree completely with what you say. Everyone and their mother has a PRF with some crazy ass effect or especially beast units, they have 3 effects. So, weapon skills like these are kind of shall we say, outdated. However, I think that one of the most important thing nowadays with refineries is that you get a good chunk of HP on top of the stats that you get from the most basic refines. So HP nowadays, I feel like, has is starting to start to take effect quite a bit. Now that a lot of skills starting to look at your HP, see like, oh hey, if your HP is not high enough, guess what? You're getting a panic. HP might be a lot more worthwhile just to have. Whereas the normal pref weapons, they don't have that. They just, well, they have their crazy ass effects, which makes up for it, but having extra HP is not bad. Think back on Ninian. Ninian as a dancer, she has a chunk of HP, and then she gets, or you can give her lightning breath or whatever breath you want, and she suddenly has 5 more. So she's one of the healthiest dancers around. She can use that stupid skill, what's it called again? Sudden Panic. So she's got a lot of utility that she's got as a dancer as a result of having these weapon refineries. So I don't know. I mean, I even though they're plain as hell as can be, I feel that their uses are going to increase from this.
No, you make a good point. My Ninian has 60 HP also, so I'm all on board the HP train.
HP train is probably going to be a thing. It's a little unfortunate about Fire Boost and those other things, but I'm sure they're going to come up with like Fire Boost 4, where it's like, oh hey guys, as long as your max HP, your maximum HP is it doesn't matter. You will get to do that. You rip their face off. You know, kind of like how Sturdy Impact became such a scary ass skill, whereas Armored Blow was like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Those boost skills are so bad. Like, if they're gonna do the power creep on the skills, the rank 4s, pick ones like boost skills that are just horrible. Like, no one will use a boost skill unless they have to for some reason. You can use something else. Like, so do it there. Make boost 4 skills, or what the hell are the original? Not Brazen, the Defiant. Like, pick those. Do those.
Defiant. Oh my god, those are so bad. Those are so bad. But
yeah, like, is anyone gonna complain about power creep if they do Defiant Attack 4?
Yeah, I know, right? That would be really scary. Actually, you know, now that Berkut is a thing, it could be really scary. It could be a very scary setup. Can you imagine, like, attack plus 10? And then you use, like, say, Legendary Azure and just pass it on to your whole team? That's kind of scary. That could be funny in and of itself.
That would be sweet. They made it, like, they took the same condition and made it plus 10. Like, that's a trade-off then.
Yeah, so I think HP is going to be a big deal. So I've been investing on a lot of characters with HP. All my dancers are, well, the ones I could anyway, have plus HP so that they can do that and give infantry pulls and nonsense that allows me to do some crazy setups. Now, that's why I think that these weapons, despite the fact that they look boring, can be very useful. And mean attack and speed plus 4 is very scary as it is. It's Swiss Sparrow on a weapon. I mean, later on, especially when we get more of those crazy ass things like that stupid dragon slaying dagger, that's really scary. That's some scary stuff. Now you have buckets that kills dragons, scary stuff. I think that they're going to have like more replacement weapons like these in the future that you can refine with more HP and such like that to really define the meta. So that's the one thing I really like about these weapons. Unfortunately, though, they're also tied behind seasonals. God damn it! They gotta stop that. Now, I think seasonal banners compared to normal banners these days is that normal banners gives you ridiculous units, tons of prefs, tons of stats, and seasonal banners provide the mechanics. As you've seen right here, we just kind of went the whole overboard talking about a simple weapon and Harsh Command Plus. But that's my honest to God opinion about seasonal banners these days. I don't know. What do you think?
It's tough though, because as much as I don't like them locking these weapons only to seasonal, they had a stretch last year where they made seasonal weapons that had abilities, and then like just a couple months later they released them as regular weapons, and as someone who invested on them, I was not too happy. It was Kagami Mochi, the slaying dagger, and then they just basically said, here's free Kaze, here, just take this weapon. And I summoned specifically for that, and I was not too pleased that I had to spend money to get something that was given out for free. So I just wish they were consistent. Like, if you want to lock them behind seasonals, let that be the expectation that that's the case. So if people are going to invest in that, you don't release one 3 months later that is the same weapon that you can get for free or in the perma pool. But at the same time, I also think that a better approach is to not lock them behind seasonals in the first place and to just do what they did and put them in the permanent pool. So
Yeah.
that would be the better approach, but just be consistent would be what I'd ask for.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, we just... I feel like we get a lot of seasonals. It's like, oh yeah, somebody farted. Here, let's have a seasonal banner built on that. We have so many seasonal banners. Seriously, we have marriage. We have picnic. Picnic is a goddamn seasonal. Like, what the hell is that, dude? Wait, it is a seasonal, right? I'm not wrong, right? It is a seasonal, right? That stupid picnic thing with the Jenny and
yeah. That was a seasonal.
Like, seriously, dude, we seriously could just fart or something, and it'll be a seasonal banner. I'm not a huge fan of that, because now we have so many things like that harsh command, like we saw just now, that are just locked. They could change the meta. It could fix things. Imagine if harsh command plus is a 4-star D-mode, something like that. Can you imagine the effect it could have on the meta itself? But no. Now let's keep it into a rich man's game. Keep it all into Aether Raids, you know. It's already an Aether Raids only skill. I can't imagine Aversa being very prevalent in the regular arena. I mean, you deal with her occasionally here and there, in like Grand Hero battles and such, and I suppose, you know, in the arena sometimes people... But in general, most of these problems you see comes from Aether Raids, so I feel like they really do too much to Aether Raids. They just bank too much on it. They want to make more money from us, yeah, but, you know, they... Aether Raids. Everything is into Aether Raids, and that effectively destroyed the mode, and also, well, it just makes me sick of it. I mean, look,
Didn't the skill thing, like, there's a new line of skills, and there's one on this banner that is, like, AR only.
I was gonna get to that, which is the next character we're gonna talk about right now, actually. Sigrun, with the AR dev, speed dev. So, you know about how these skills work, right? If you're on the defense, it depends on how many defensive buildings you have. If you're on the offense, it depends on how many offensive buildings they have. So it could be changed in ways where you have a catapult and you destroy one of the buildings. It could affect their stats quite a bit. But their stat bonuses are pretty significant if you've seen them. We're talking about like plus 10, and if you lose a building, plus 7. Most people will have more than 5 defense structures, so you're looking at a powerful 7 speed, 7 stats increase on an A slot, or 10 if nobody has a catapult or the catapult's too low level. That's disgusting. I hate that kind of skills. I mean, you saw what happened with the arena skills, right? You saw what happened to those.
Yeah, I mean, this skill's strong. I don't think anyone can sit here and say this is a terrible skill, but it only works in one mode when you're defending. So if you're competitive, you should probably get the skill. If you love Aether Raids and really want your grails and want to do better, maybe you can consider it. Otherwise, you're summoning for a skill that only works in one mode, and there are many modes in this game. So yeah, that's all I can really say. I would never summon for a skill that only works in one mode.
Yeah, well, that's the main problem with this thing. I don't like it. Aether Raids nowadays, what I do is I get to tier 21, which I got to, and then I stay in tier 21 by barely playing. People attack me. Oh, sometimes I lose my points, sometimes I don't, most of the times I don't, and then I'd be like, okay, well, whatever, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to just sit and let my stamina build up, because it's just so much extra work to stay, or go.
I've stayed the whole time. It's called, if you don't play arena or tier 21 and you keep your crown, you'll never lose it. Where's that meme with the guy pointing to his head?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't work for Aether Raids, though. You lose your standing.
Oh, in Aether Raids it doesn't, for sure. I keep my crown.
Yeah. And tier 21 arena, though, yeah, I guess you could do that, but then you're not getting your 4 orbs every week. I think that's also kind of silly. I mean, who cares about the tier ratings anyway? It's just there to... Nobody cares. Let's just say that. Nobody really cares. I don't think anybody's gonna like come over to your house and like suck your dick because, oh yeah, I'm tier 25 or tier 27 or something like that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't really care about the crown. I just don't play the mode, so I happen to have the crown.
Well, I would say to at least auto battle with just auto battle with like some 2 units or 1 or 2 units. That's what I've been doing when I'm not climbing. I just use 2 units and just kind of battle and just collect the feathers, the orbs, and yada yada yada, and be on my way. Later,
Yeah, I don't play it properly. I'm just lazy.
I know,
Yeah,
I know that feeling too well. I know that feeling too well because after like on Monday, right after I came home from work, I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm too tired to even make my Burkut quest series, which by the way I had to start in a bit, but maybe I'll do that later. And I'm just too tired. I just don't want to, work again after I come back. And without you, this video would have been a lot more work. It's a lot more interesting to chat with someone about these in-game things, even if we kind of are a little tired of the game in general. But I really do appreciate you coming here today to chat with me, because I was in the middle of doing this by myself earlier, and I was starting to get really sick of it. And you showed up. I really thank you for this.
Happy to contribute to our rambles.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, that's pretty much really is all I could talk about with Sigrun. I mean,
I actually have a couple other things. Well,
yeah?
mainly... Oh, wait, yeah, 2 other things.
Good.
We just talked about those weapons, the attack speed ones. I kind of like the cake cutter more. The sword users are just faster and more aggressive in general than what was it, Lance for Tanith. So I feel like this is more of what I'd want to see. Like, I would rather have a sword with the attack speed +4 than a lance. So take what I said and maybe take a little off of it, because this one I think is a little bit better. I'd rather have a cake cutter. And then second point would be the air orders. I think is cool. I don't think it's necessarily great.
Oh yeah.
But the order skills, and I think there's actually a wait, is it this one? There's
ground order. It's on this banner. I'll go over that in a bit.
Okay,
it's disgusting
as actually, I'll skip this point. I want to wait for the ground orders.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. Oh, we will get there. Okay, so now we have the third character. Now that Sigrun is done, we have Pent. Pent, well, you have Pole Smoke 3. Let's have a little chat about Pole Smoke 3. I think it's a bunch of potential that is lost. I think that Pole Smoke 3 could have been something that is really powerful. Now, I don't know if you do this, okay? But sometimes I would smite my units into, a really tanky unit or a vantage unit into a crowd of enemy units in Aether Raids or some shit like that, and just smoke them or do tons of damage, and then vantage sweep them all to death. That kind of shit that would happen. Now, Pole Smoke is one of these things where it would have been very perfect for this. It still is, except for one crippling disadvantage. It has no effect on special cooldowns already at maximum, so you can't use it to counter infantry pulse teams. That would have been brilliant had it worked like Witchy Wand, or at the very least just remove one cooldown pulse, but it doesn't do that. So you're tossing your unit into their death.
I want to clarify, because the language of Witchy Wand is not the same here. The way it reads, I assumed it worked sort of like Witchy Wand, where it it inflicted 1 less, but Witchy Wand's language says inflict special -1 per attack during combat, and then it has obviously the other effect where it resets, and this one is inflict special cooldown +1 on the foe. So are these doing the same?
Yeah, it is. Look, it says target and foes, and it's a smoke skill. So unless you are going to have a skill that helps your enemies, which kind of like how that stupid whatchamacall skill that backbreaker. What's her name again? Oh my god, how could I forget her name? With the coconut bowl. Come on, Lubu, you can remember her name.
The rush skill.
Noir.
Infantry rush.
Noir. Yeah, that for a bit was bugged. Noir has a bugged rush where the enemy could actually benefit from it if they're within 2 range. But I highly doubt that, and besides, they fixed that bug with Noir as well. So with this skill, it would have been perfect if it actually does what Witchy Wand does and remove their already cooldown. But since it doesn't, Well, I would much rather say toss in my healer with Witchy Wand and just blast them with Savage Blow and attempt to kill them all with advantage. But things are just not always as it is. Now, Pole of Smoke, unfortunately, is one of those things. I was really excited for a bit until I saw that last bit. Last bit where it says no effect on special cooldown already. Can you imagine if it wasn't like that? You would stop goddamn Ophelia stone cold. You would have stopped the entire infantry pulse teams stone cold. Somebody has miracle, you would crush them stone cold. But now you have this. I guess you can, slow down enemy advances, but other than that,
it's still cool, and I still think it's strong, but it just goes to show you how ridiculous Witchy Wand is. This skill is great, but it pales in comparison to Witchy Wand. For those of you out there that have had the good fortune to pull Witchy Wand and use it, Witchy Wand is broken. Witchy Wand may have been a mistake. It is really, really, really strong. It is just amazing. Maybe it's a good thing that this doesn't do what Witchy Wand does, because it would be really, really annoying to deal with. But it's no Witchy Wand.
Yeah, but then, the skill kind of feels kind of pointless. I suppose it will work against non-infantry pulse teams, but I don't know. It's kind of weak. I suppose it would be good against, say, if the enemy team uses Gale Force, for example, or something that takes a little bit of building up, but they can quickly do so with Flashing Blade or Heavy Blade or whatever. You can use that to stop them. So it's not completely useless. I feel like I might have underrated it a bit because of what I've just thought about stopping all these people stone cold. But yeah, you're right. Maybe I am a little underrating this skill, but it's
when you're used to using Witchy Wand, this thing looks not that great. That's what it is.
The whole smiting people in the enemy team thing is really disgusting, especially if you have Mordecai. And you know what? Mordecai's 4 stars, If Mordecai being 4 stars is a really good thing. I actually like that a lot, because Mordecai's stupid thing where you toss someone over, they lose like 4 to all stats was pretty nice. Of course, then we have to worry about Harsh Command Plus later down the line, but that's the thing we can worry about when they decide to make the more one red. I don't even know how the meta is these days. I feel like there was rock, paper, scissors, but now it's like rock, money, paper, scissors.
just insert random money.
Yeah, I know, right? And I don't know what to say about the meta. You just can't be prepared for everything, which I guess is a good thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All I can think about with Pole Smoke. Otherwise, I would toss in my unit with Attack Smoke or something like that, and just reduce the enemy stats as much as I can. So Pole Smoke is it's not bad actually. If I have Attack Smoke on my Seal or something like that, I can do that to up to me, and then I'll just kill them with counterattacks. I think what I could do is it's funny because you were talking about Barb. You were talking about Barb Shuriken earlier with the whole -1 cooldown thing, which ended up getting the Mochi, which eventually became the Barb Shuriken, which ended up getting as with Kaze. But it's actually a good thing to have, because I think the main thing about Mochi, which I thought was silly, is because it's supposed to be part of a series of weapons, because a normal +/-1 cooldown reduction thing was a normal thing. It wasn't like a very seasonal thing. They decided to give it to seasonal Takumi for some stupid reason, but it's more of a normal weapon effect, whereas killing dragons and having Hardy Bearing built into your weapon is something, very seasonal, and I still have not seen it elsewhere yet. Candlelight itself was very, very strong, and that didn't apply until 2 years later. So, hey, wait a minute. How did I start rambling into that? Oh my god, dude. I gotta stop. Why didn't you stop me? I guess it does sound kind of interesting, so. At any rate, we'll stop that, because I don't know where my train of thought just went. Let's go and talk about the most important character in this entire banner, the Fjorm with her Gjallarbrú. Do you even know how to spell that? Because I don't. Pronounce that, because I have no idea where to even start.
Not at all.
Well, with this Fjorm, she carries the most premium skills for quite a while. Gjallarbrú. Now, this is why we talk about HP earlier. Because if foe's HP is less than unit's HP minus 3 in cardinal directions, you get isolation. And once you have isolated, you can't be target, you cannot use and anything on the next foe. Although you could probably cure it. Let me see, hold on a second. Target can neither use or be a target and sing applies penalty. Oh, so you can't even cure it. You can't even use restore or harsh command plus to cure it. That's disgusting. That's actually pretty scary now that I saw that last bit. That's actually a really disgusting skill. Have you looked into Gjallarbru and you have your own opinion formulated on it, or do you want me to talk about it?
I've thought about it a little because I've thought about when they were going to add something like this skill, because I think it was something that should have been added a long time ago to counter dancers. I like it. I really like that they added the clause at the end that what you just read, that neutralizes penalties like restore and harsh command. The point of it is that you want it to neutralize dance. So if someone can like harsh command the unit and then dance and then they can just move, that would be silly. It needs to negate anything that could get in the way of dance. This is an ability and an effect that the game needed, but it's locked to one weapon that's a PRF that is a staff on Fjorm. So that's not exciting at all. But hopefully we can see how this actually plays, because I think it's too complicated to really be able to just analyze like without playing with it. You need to actually see this thing in action. But I'm very excited for the possibilities this thing brings, and hopefully they'd make it a seal so that people can actually play with it, assuming it's not too broken.
Oh, no. I highly doubt that. I mean, yeah, we don't have
they
the
won't
skills,
do it, obviously, but...
Dude, that thing you can't even use restore or use harsh command to fix. That's disgusting. I didn't even know about that part until I read it because of that stupid Yu-Gi-Oh description. I'm like, oh man.
You still have to have the HP to use this, though.
Yeah, the only effect that you have to deal with is HP, but if you don't have to worry about HP, you lock down the enemy quite harshly. So I think like a plus HP Fjorm might be the way to go with building her, because HP is the deciding factor with this disgusting ability. It's disgusting. It literally just locks you down. This is the first time a skill like that has arrived. There's like no counter once you have it locked down on your character. So the only thing that you have to worry about is not getting in cardinal direction with her. But once it does work on you, it is scary. And you know what? This thing is more of something you use for players anyway. I mean, I guess I could see AIs using it somewhat decently if the opponent are kind of dumb, or you set it up so that your characters could only go through a certain path in Aether Rays or something like that. Then you could use Gjallarbru to really screw someone's day, but it's mostly a player phase toy. I mean, considering that you can summon or support your Fjorm and give her 5 more HP, which is something that you can't do with normal, on the AI, this is something that I feel is much more potent on player hands. So I mean, it's probably not cancer. It's really just there to save you against the. Now, unfortunately, that means that Fjorm is going to be a very sought after and wailed after character. I would do the same right now if I spent a ton of money on this game, which makes me it does make me itchy. It does make me a little itchy. I really like healers, as you already know. But I might just have to, I don't know, maybe I'll try summoning once or twice. But I really need some Dumas right now. I need something for my Astra defenses, which I don't have anything set up for because I don't have any Dumas. Unfortunately, that stupid ass Xian, made us like not get to choose. I would have chosen Duma on a heartbeat, but no, I get to pick a goddamn Lin. Oh, because it's random. Fuck that event. I hate that event so much. Ugh, what were they thinking? I apologize for rambling, but I just, God, all my problems would have gone away if that hadn't been the case. Anyway, so yeah, HP is a big deal now, and fortunately, Gjallarbru does not give HP, so there's also that you can also consider. But like I said, it's mostly a player phase toy. I don't think enemy phase can. I don't think like the AI could utilize it as well as. But once it does get affected on you, though, it is scary. It is scary as hell, and I can't wait to see how that'll play out. Like you said, we do need to see it in action, but currently, it's already sounding pretty damn scary.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's gonna be player phase only, but it's such a complicated skill with the interactions. It's something that needs to be play tested and seen how it works. For all we know, it might not work the way it reads. There are plenty of instances where they write this text and then it doesn't work that way. I mean, for all we know, there could be on Reddit somewhere someone's posting that, oh, it doesn't work like that, blah blah blah. But
True.
We'll see. The way it reads, it looks fantastic, and if I did have it, I would be excited to play around with it and see exactly how it works and what things you can do with it.
I mean, I'm thinking about polling on this banner. I hate the polling on 4-person banner, though. The 4-person thing is just so dumb. Ugh. But I do want her, and that is the other reason. Ground Orders 3. That is the other reason why I want her. And that does not have an HP restriction. That is a disgusting skill, and frankly, it makes me sick to my stomach that it exists. So, you want me to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it?
Why don't you start, and then I'll see if I have anything to add.
Alright, so I already have plans with Ground Orders. You know how fat and useless armors are, right? And say if you were to huddle them in a corner or some shit like that, or do something in some way to make it so that they can't move, or they can't move over your units as it is, unless they have swap or something like that, and even then it ends their turn. So Ground Orders can be very easily manipulated with armor units, and the fact is, armor units can use it. Cavalry allies could use it, but mostly armor units are the scary ones, because hey, guess what, Bold Fighter, I'm suddenly flying across the map and I'm Bold Fighting your ass. Hey, guess what, my fucking Halloween Jacob has Bold Fighter Brave Bow, and I'm gonna just turn you into Swiss cheese from across the map. That is very easily implemented, as long as you have a Fjorm sitting next to a Jacob, and Fjorm doesn't move or something like that, or if Fjorm is healing someone or something like that. Ground Orders is very, very, very scary. And if you were to, say, have like some other units that can bait and doesn't die, say, for example, Seleth, of course, then you can also use Wings of Mercy. But hey, there are other ways you can do this, like Gale Force units, and then when they go and sweep the enemy forces, they suddenly stop, they can't do any more. Hey, guess what? Ground Orders, and then there's a new set of units coming in. Like, for example, fucking Effie. Even to this day, Effie is still a very, very scary character with her 40 plus attack. I think she goes to 40.
Yeah, I think it's 43 with the attack.
Yeah. And you can give her like some crazy ass spears. Oh, even just a regular slaying spear would be enough. And then you just use her the Gale Force. Oopsie daisy, now that you got this horrible thing just running across over your base because, hey, guess what? I've got Ground Orders. Screw the rules, I've got Ground Orders. And if not, if your unit's too far away, guess what? I'm going to send Halloween Jacob after you. Bold Fighter was a mistake, and this helps facilitate this mistake. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Ground Orders is a disgusting skill. I don't know what they were thinking letting that go into the game, but well, it could also be very humorous to watch. Do you have anything else you want to add to Ground Orders?
Yeah, I think I agree with just about everything you said. The thing that stood out to me was when I saw the word cavalry, because very rarely in any movement in skill like this will you see cavalry involved. Almost never. If you look at any orders, guidance, whatever the other names of them are, they're not cavalry. They're never cavalry. So I was thinking, well, okay, cavalry are here. So cavalry can already move through spaces. So what gain are you going to get from having a cavalry have ground orders? And I didn't think of much, but then I thought, well, it's applying this to all allies. So unlike something like guidance, where it's like it's always active and only the flyer has it, or the other orders, or there's another version of this type of skill. This actually puts the buff on anyone. It doesn't have to be, or flyer orders was the other one. This will actually be on anyone. So a cavalry next to someone with ground orders will gain the buff. So you can have a cavalry run out 3 spaces in a direction, and then you can repo an armor up, and then use the orders to move, and you can move much further than you normally could. That's the thing I'm thinking of with this cavalry here. Not that the cavalry themselves are going to be able to benefit.
Hold on here. It just moves them to an adjacent square. I don't think they can move any further afterwards.
No, right. So you kind of bring the cavalry out first, and then you repo someone else to then take advantage of the cavalry moving out 3, like an armor to sort of guidance away.
So you're thinking about transferring ground orders to other units as well could work?
Yeah, I would need like a map to show it. Like the cavalry themselves won't benefit, but they can gain the buff to move out, and then like with repo
I get what
others can go even further without dance.
I understand.
Because if you have dance, then
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's disgusting. Hey, think about Nisala doing that. Nisala has way more chances of doing that, considering that the fact that he flies. Forget about the goddamn forest and all the lakes and lavas and shit. Now you can do that across that, fly them across the map and do that. Or you could just, hey, I'm goddamn Mordecai, I'm gonna smite your ass across the map, and then all of a sudden that unit suddenly shits out a whole bunch of units, like dancers and such, that moves them further, and then afterwards that guy gets attacks, and then another unit spawns under the guy, and it turns into this ridiculous chain reaction that just, brings an end to all humanity. That's what ground order is.
That's what I'm seeing with this. A chain of steps for player phase that you can do that are crazy.
Yeah, ground order is a disgusting skill. That's the whole reason why I would summon for Fjorm, for Bridal Fjorm. That and Gjallarbrú. So I don't think I'll ever fodder a single one because of this. I mean, I guess I could see ground orders being used on other units, but I don't know. Giving up on Gjallarbrú seems like a very silly idea. I don't think I'm gonna fodder her anytime soon.
Yeah, because I think only the flyers can use it, but then the buff it gives
it could also be restricted to flyer. That's true. It could also be like that. It's just not a very, very healthy transfer, let's just say. Whereas with Pent, I can be like, a Pole Smoke 3, and then give like Rally Attack, and then upgrade to Rally Attack Plus, and you can transfer all 4 to another character. You don't get this shit here. You get ground orders, and ground orders is good, but it could, just as you say, or as we expect, just be for flyers, in which case then you might as well just keep it on Gjallarbrú herself, you know? But anyway, do you think there's anything else you want to say about the skills of this banner? I mean, I did see Louise's thing, and she's got attack speed bond, which is great for healers, and I guess a couple of, but especially the ones that benefits from bond, but she's not that exciting to me. Got anything else?
No, that's about it for this banner.
No, that's about it for the skills. We can talk briefly about the stats now. So about the stats, it's a little unfortunate about Louise because, well, then again, maybe not. We don't really need more City Mongolian Lins running around. Louise does have, let's see, 31 base attack and 34 speed, which is already kind of scary if you think about it. She doesn't get like plus attack from IVs and such. 31 is really workable, all things considered, since we have cavalry buffs and such like that. She's still a very threatening unit. I mean, the only thing she does is blessings. So. Then we have Pent. Pent benefits a lot from that weapon that we just talked about, but the problem is, well, that's no Reinhardt. You have a blue tome on the cavalry. You're gonna get compared to Reinhardt. It's just really unfortunate that the Reinhardt exists. Such a busted unit. Such a busted unit. And they can't do anything about the Reinhardt now. The Reinhardt is here forever, and he's here to stay. And then you have Fjorm. Now, I know you talked about Fjorm, and you're kind of not impressed with her stats, but I think that, I mean, her stats really still isn't all that impressive. think it's one of these ideal stats that to have when you have a lot of HP. For a character built on HP, this is the kind of stuff you would look at. Look at Carol, for example. Carol has like 47 HP and also has a good decent amount of speed, like what, 35 or something like that. So that kind of setup is great because then you're avoiding getting doubled, so you can take one hit. But the problem is with that is that, hey, guess what? If someone has something like Bold Fighter or something that just forces a double on you, you get torn to shreds because your defenses are negligible. But for other situations like these where you could take a hit, well, there it is. That's a good way to build HP type heroes. And unfortunately though, for Fjorm, she does not get extra HP from Gjallarbrú. She'll have to rely completely on her A and her seal to get further, and 42 base is a bit iffy.
It's good enough though, because the way the skill works is it doesn't have to hit the unit, it can hit the dancer. So her HP, her stats in general are weak, but 42 HP is not bad. 46 at plus 10, obviously you can add seal and 8, you can get her over 50 easily. She just has to hit dancers, and besides Ninian, she's gonna hit just about every other dancer pretty easily.
Really? I thought that skill... Hold on, let me just review that real quick. Let's see. At the start of turn, inflict isolation. Target cannot use or be the target.
So dancers can't use dance if they get hit by it.
Yeah. It's like a full-on restriction. Yeah, gotcha.
So her HP is not high enough to reliably hit, armors or other... I mean, she can hit some units, not armors, but she's going to hit most dancers. I think that's where she's going to be clutch. She's going to hit the dance.
Once again, Ninian is awesome. Ninian is best. I'm so glad I have...
It's not going to hit Ninian.
Yes, you're right about that. Good point. But 42, yeah, you're right. It is good enough. Considering that Asama is like 43, and that's his call to fame, having a lot of defense and HP. And Wrist is at 42, I think. And there's Loki. Loki is also the kind of... As a matter of fact, if I compare the stats of this to Loki, the difference is really low. Loki... Low. I'm so funny. Her attack is like 33, her speed is 35, if I remember correctly, and her defenses are kind of like shuffled around. So this is what you can do, what you can stretch with 150 BST. But I think I should appreciate the fact that it's on a character like that, rather than say, a Dune, or something that has a ton of HP, like how can I forget the big meme man himself?
Arden.
Yeah, can you imagine that on Arden? Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, hey Arden, hey, take this. Oh, but Arden can't use sudden panic. That's a shame. But any other HP calculating things, eventually maybe if they go and actually do something about fire boost and other boost skills, then it could be a seriously scary scenario. But anyway, let's not think about that. That's something that's... Okay, alright. So now we have, two more things, really. We have Tanith. Tanith is pretty boring, really. Flyer, air spear with... But then again, compared to like Cordelia, Cordelia is completely gone. I feel really bad for Cordelia. She's been like power creeped out of this place, but it's okay. It's just seasonal. Everything will be all right. Sigrun has like 38 speed and a good deal of bulk as well. I actually kind of like that kind of setup.
That spread looks very appealing to me. It's very, the attack's a little low, but speed's good. Mixed defenses are pretty decent. I think there's a decent build here. I don't know if it's really unique or anything, but that's a good stat spread.
I mean, I did the Selena Miku thing, but she's an infantry, so she could use steady breath and just kind of take hits and blow someone's face off. This is the kind of bulk that does that, so she would have to use, I don't know, maybe Heavy Blade. Heavy Blade and counterattack someone to death with that kind of technique. Other than that, though, I don't know. And it's a bit of a strange setup to have on a flyer. Flyers are generally offensive types instead of defensive types, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyway, do you have anything else for this banner? Now I think we can call it truly done.
Nope, that's it for me.
Alright, well, I thank you. Thank you again for coming, joining me with me today. Otherwise, I'll be talking to myself for an hour, which would be kind of crazy. They would lock me up for this. Now, I'm talking to someone else for an hour, so now it doesn't seem nearly as strange. Well, that's about it for today. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.